Welcome, everybody, to the Moneyline Madness podcast. It is a massive conference championship game Sunday. And, this is what it all comes down to pretty much. Everybody wants to be in this game. Everybody wants to go here, get here. And I guess the four teams pretty happy where they are. I think there's some favorites today, and there's some upset Cinderella-type stories going on. And I'm Andy B. I'm here with Matt. How we doing, Matt? Oh, I do not hear you. I do not hear Matt, so I'm just going to fill it in until he can fix his mic. We got double R in the I assume that's Ed. We got double R in the comments with the Fly Eagles Fly. Obviously, we got Ed also. He's a Niner fan. So,
all right. Elijah Mitchell out. That's kind of crazy.
Back.
That's kind of crazy. I didn't hear that that he was even, questionable.
I just saw it actually.
For that. That's very interesting. Double R, I'm sure you're in a great mood. I'm sure you're feeling good. I don't recommend going out and climbing any poles because I heard the city of Philadelphia is greasing the poles.
We know they love to ride.
Pause. But
Pause?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be a bloodbath. I mean, these are two games decided between what? How many points on the spread? Like 4 total. You know,
so you got 1.5 and you got 2.5.
Yep. Yeah. So it's going to be an exciting one. I'm really curious now, Andy, what do you think? We'll talk first game first, obviously. Eagles going up against 49ers. What do you feel if the 49ers want to upset this Eagles powerhouse of a team? What do they have to do? What do they have to do right?
Christian McCaffrey. And that's, I mean, the Elijah Mitchell news kind of gives you even more basis on my bet here. Christian McCaffrey over 57.5 felt safe already.
Yeah.
Now with that news, feels pretty damn safe more. I don't think the Niners are going to win. I said it last week. I think the Eagles are the best team in football. But if they're going to stay in it, it's going to have to be Christian McCaffrey. Look, Brock Purdy, if they make him have to throw the ball down the field like Dallas kind of did for the first half, he can't really do it that well.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a big moment for him where if he wants to prove that he's actually a guy, he's going to have to throw it down the field. Assuming Christian McCaffrey, like running backs have been unable to run on the Eagles, if McCaffrey's not there, I don't see a chance for them to win. So that's the main thing. If they're going to win, it has to be Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think he's going to be the main proponent for this offense. And I also think that they're going to try, I said this in the group chat, I think they're going to try and give Purdy enough time to just get the ball out. I think we're going to see a lot more shotgun formations, kind of him stepping back and taking the snap as opposed to being up front, just because that front four of the Eagles is so dangerous. And I think as a result of that, you might see Purdy scramble a little bit more, which it could make him make mistakes. He could just get some rushing yards. And I'm anticipating, my pick is over 8.5 rushing yards for Brock Purdy. I anticipate, I mean, this number's pretty low. I think he's going to be on the run for his life at some points. And I think we could get 8.5 on the ground relatively easily, especially, with him taking those snaps, like I said, in the shotgun formation as opposed to being up front.
Yeah, I think I said it. I think if Brock Purdy has to be the guy, he has to show up because McCaffrey, because of that rush.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to sound somber as if the Niners, they're the Cinderella right now. I mean, I don't think anybody.
Oh, no, I'm not doubting the Niners by any means, especially because you have so many weapons. You have George Kittle, you have Debo, you have Brandon Ayuk.
The tight ends right now, I mean, you could say it. There's 3 elite tight ends in football. They're all playing today, right?
Yeah.
So like, that's something.
Are we not going to give Mark Andrews an elite nod?
He barely played this year. He hasn't. If you want to, want to say he's elite,
I feel like
it's up to your own interpretation. I think
viewers' discretion.
Yeah. Viewers' discretion, because I personally think the 3 best tight ends are playing today. The weapons that are in this game, man, I think it's going to be huge.
I definitely think Mark Andrews is an elite tight end, but it's up to like we're saying, viewers' discretion. Viewers' discretion.
I think it's up to your interpretation.
But what we do have to talk about is the discussion that's been going on in the Facebook group of Dallas Goedert being on the same level as George Kittle, and potentially even being. I mean, he said that Ricky had said in the group that not only was Dallas Goedert the same player, but an even better blocker. What type of spice are we smoking over there to where that guy is all of a sudden getting a nod? Like, George Kittle has done so much, in his career in terms of his production. I mean, we can't just all of a sudden give a guy a nod because he's been a red zone target the past
No,
few weeks.
I don't think. I think if you rank them, obviously it's Kelsey, Kittle, Goddard, but I don't know if it's necessarily that he's on the same level as Kittle. I just think tight ends it lacks depth, right? I think the top 5 tight ends are very easy to know who they are.
Yeah.
But in terms of who's the best, I think it's 1A, 1B with Kittle and Kelsey. I think obviously Kelsey's better, but like I think that's the tier, and then I think Goddard's right there. Like I think Goddard is up there. He's certainly 3 or 4 if you want to put him there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can really consider Goddard where Kittle is yet.
No, I don't.
And
so,
Kittle did go through a little bit of a phase here where he wasn't doing a lot. Like last year, he didn't do much because he got hurt a lot, and I think the year before he struggled a little bit as well during that COVID year.
He got, I think it was like a high ankle sprain.
And this year he's been amazing. So yeah, and obviously there's one thing you can pencil in every year: Travis Kelce's going to be number 1. That's never.
Yeah, I'm not saying Dallas Goedert isn't nice. You know, I really think he's a solid guy, but he's exactly. I don't know where this all of a sudden narrative that he might be a better block. Like Kittle is somebody throwing guys around like an offensive lineman. I mean, come on. We got repping the jungle over here.
Don't sleep on their tight end game either. Hayden Hurst has been coming up big in some games.
Solid, man. I love Hayden Hurst. I mean, even with Atlanta, he was with Cleveland.
Baltimore, Atlanta, and now he's with Cincy.
Oh, okay.
From South Carolina.
Excuse me. I'm also a little under the weather as
well.
He won
his full Wikipedia and Football Reference pages. He went to South Carolina. The SEC.
Gotcha. All right. Anytime touchdown score for this game. Anyone that you are looking at?
I mean, it's tough not to say McCaffrey, but I also think
McCaffrey's a given. Minus 125. McCaffrey is a given.
Yeah.
And I also think. No, go ahead.
No, I said Miles Sanders. I don't know if that's who you're gonna say. I don't love going with receivers because you never know with a receiver. You could see it, but it's also like one of those things. Running backs, it's like that's something like you get to the 5-yard line, your running back's probably getting your touchdown, right? And I have a feeling I know who you're gonna say, but for me, it was Miles Sanders and McCaffrey.
No, actually, I was just saying going on top of the McCaffrey play. If you're looking kind of just to make it a little juicier type of thing, we both think this is going to be a close game, right? No?
I'm not convinced solely.
Do you think it's going to be a 10-point game?
Within that range, probably. More like realistically, 10-point win for the Eagles is my odds.
Okay, we're seeing
I know that's not going to
like Brown, Jalen Hurts. I was thinking if you want to juice up the McCaffrey a little bit, Christian McCaffrey anytimer, and then Niners plus 9.5.
Don't hate that.
Plus 111. It's a plus money play.
Not bad.
Yeah, and it gives you that cushion.
And if you do think it's
points.
going to be a closer game, I don't. Go to like 5.5, and you'll get even better value. I personally think the Eagles are going to win this one. 10 points is probably good. I think they'll have command of it for a decent amount of time. Maybe early it's a good game, but I just think the Eagles are going to get to Brock Purdy. They're going to stop the run relatively well. But if you're looking at it from a 49ers perspective, I would play my cards well with just running the ball early and hoping that my guy can get it. There's one guy on that team that's the X factor, right? I mean, Kittle needs the ball thrown to him. McCaffrey can do it himself.
I got another pick I'm interested in hearing your opinion on, and I know a lot of you guys out watching this like these types of specials now that we're getting late into the season, kind of those featured picks. I saw one prop that was in both games, the kickoff to be to take a knee, a touchback.
That's usually a Super Bowl thing, which is why I was surprised that it's up here on here. But yeah, that's an odd one. I'm
trying to find it right now.
Usually it is, right? I'm not wrong by saying
both
usually.
Opening kickoffs in the championship games to be a touchback for plus 200.
It feels like bait though.
It happened. 2 weeks ago in the fucking divisional round.
Like, who am I having run kicks back for the Eagles? Assuming it's tough.
Who is it? Double R. Who is it? Is it
Double R? You would know who's running kickoffs back for the Eagles, right? Because at the same time, Jake Elliott and Robbie Gould, they have boots, so they could boot it back to the back of the end zone. I know that's bigger in college. They usually don't do that in the NFL.
And then what? You got Bucker, Is
Bucker's
it
got
in Philly today?
Evan McPherson you got good kickers that can just boot it to the back of the end zone, but that might not be the strategy. So
Yeah.
I don't think
let's
it's
see.
windy in Philly today. I don't think it's not windy here. I don't know if the thing's the same, but it's a little
Philadelphia.
chilly. But
Ooh, we're getting a light drizzle.
what is it in KC? Is it windy there? I mean, nobody obviously knows here. Would look that up, but
Yeah, we're getting a little weather report.
unless I
a
made
meteorologist Andy B.
since this morning, but don't know.
No, Kansas City is just mostly cloudy. Wind gusts up to 18 miles an hour.
So there's a
could
little bit
be-
of wind there.
Okay,
That's
it
a
could be Scott
factor.
or Cubby. Okay. I mean,
If it's Boston Scott, I don't think they're gonna want him taking it out right away.
yeah.
But
I
also
would
to
agree.
answer Ed, Debo does exist.
Debo does
I
exist.
just don't know if you can get gadgety against the Eagles.
That is the thing. That is the thing.
It could.
How many-
They're going to try because that's just Kyle Shanahan. I just don't know.
And
The
like,
Eagles have just been relatively perfect when they're.
before we
defense,
hopped on, I'm
like-
looking at these lines, and like, even we talked about it on the Philly show the whole week. Like, these lines are so inflated. Like, Debo's receiving yards at 50.5, like that's a lot. Then you look AJ Brown 73.5, that's a lot too. Even Devontae Smith at 66.5, that's
What surprised me about McCaffrey's numbers. His aren't really inflated, right? Like on a normal game, 57.5 is a layup for him.
yeah,
But
57.5
last week, I don't
rushing,
think
right?
He had that
How-
game. What did he do last week that because that had to deflate his number because his number was like 100 every week.
Yeah. No, let's see about maybe rushing and receiving yards. I like 94.5 for McCaffrey. I like that, honestly. See, like, that's a number I could get in on, considering they're going to need him in both assets of the game. So I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Oh, Andy's on the list. You're getting this is live data getting collected right now.
I want to see Eagles Chiefs. I think that would be the best Super Bowl in years. On paper, obviously the game could be awful, but on paper, I think that'd be a really cool Super Bowl to see. Look, I'm not a quarterback star whisperer. I'm not like a guy who needs to see a star quarterback. But we have had a bit of a time where there haven't been, right? Like last year, Stafford, he's a really good quarterback, but we don't look at him as a star. Brock Purdy would kind of drown that out for me. But yeah, I definitely think Christian McCaffrey will have 60, 70. Even if they're getting blown out, I still think early in the game he's going to run. I mean, he's
This
the
is
guy.
what I'm saying. I said this is my pick. And this is my pick over 93.5. I mean, or 94.5. That's a great number. I mean, he's going to do both, especially with Elijah Mitchell out. Like, he's going to have to do it all. So
yeah, no, that's the one thing. No matter what happens, I think Christian McCaffrey's still going to eat. Like it's
Purdy is the future for San Francisco.
Look for him.
Did
I
you
hope
see the
he
Jimmy
is,
G thing?
Yeah, he's healthy.
He's healthy now. Ed, might interest you in this. Like, I don't know. I'm not a coach, obviously, but
if they get to a slow start, do you go to Jimmy?
Not even what I'm going to say, because I don't think that happens. I think, do you run some practice formations with some, decoy Jimmy Garoppolo type plays?
No.
No, he's saying no.
Well, he's saying no to what I said. So
yeah,
what would you
fuck
say
no
to that?
I agree with that as well, because I'm not bringing if you've
Well,
been playing well, we score more without him. But what if you bring him in the same way that we've seen them teams do plays that they're really not going to do in the future just to get teams to study more film? Something like that. Like, if you just run a formation that's complete nonsense at some point, but that you're not going to need that player, aka Jimmy G, in the actual play. Why not as a bluff? I feel like you could. That would be a waste of a play. I mean, I don't know. Shanahan.
Usually you run that play with relatively athletic guys. Brock Purdy's a little more athletic than Jimmy G. Would you maybe run a decoy with Jimmy G as the quarterback and Brock Purdy out? I don't know about that, but look, Shanahan does love the trick play, so
yeah,
he loves the scheme.
Playing games, but
can't. They would not have put out that Jimmy G is healthy if in the case that Brock Purdy is playing god-awfully, that they wouldn't put Jimmy G. You can't tell me that wouldn't have come out. That came out for a reason. Maybe it was just to fool the Eagles into thinking something. If Brock Purdy looks like the moment's too big for him, he can't do it against Philly. You can't tell me a guy who's been in the league, been to a Super Bowl, and was under Tom Brady wouldn't be considered. I'm not saying they do it, but you'd have to consider it if Brock Purdy looks god-awful.
That's an interesting angle.
But I think Brock Purdy's confident enough to where it's not going to be too much for him. So I think that's a moot point. But if that case comes up, don't think they won't pan the camera to Jimmy G.
Oh,
Now
no.
that they
You
know
know they're
he's
going to be milking the Jimmy G thing. That was the
Camera.
story.
And you know what?
So they
The
could do
more
this
camera
live.
Jimmy G's got on him, the better we all are. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. We forget sometimes how big of a Jimmy G fan Andy B actually is. You know, he's a wow. Sorry about that. Just yanked my camera off of.
No, yeah, Jimmy G's
my
top guy.
But Jimmy G,
terms
no,
of
he's a
what?
handsome guy.
He's a handsome fella. He's like the Romo. Like he put it up perfectly. Romo was handsome as hell, but you hated him because he was like Cowboys.
I mean, I guess
And
I
feel the
don't
same
know if I
about
was
Jimmy G
ever.
'cause I don't like the Niners.
I don't know if I was ever calling Tony Romo handsome, especially as a young kid. But you know, get yours.
No, I
Get yours
wasn't
by
either.
all means. But all right,
It's
it's not.
good
It's the
to
same thing with Roma Dak. They won't bring him in. You're not even a Niners fan. Oh,
No.
dang, Andy. What do you have to say for yourself?
Whoa. I am not. You're right. I am 100% not. I actually hate the Niners. But you can, in terms of logic, if Brock Purdy looks god awful, and you have Jimmy G who's serviceable, who could at least in the moment be a little better, you can't tell me that you're Ed. Be honest with me. You can't tell me you're 100% confident in Brock Purdy. You can't be. He played a good amount of games, but like, has he ever played a team like the Eagles? No. Like,
he hasn't.
he beat the Cowboys. Cool. Cowboys were really bad the other day. Like, you can't be 100% confident with Brock Purdy. He had like 130 yards the other day. Like, if you're that, look, Ed, you might be the most confident fan in the world if you think Brock Purdy's 100% the guy right now. Because I can guarantee you Kyle Shanahan does not. Your coach does not. Because they would not have had Jimmy G practicing and ready to go. That's all. I don't know who their backup is otherwise, but you cannot.
No, but that
100%
you can't play that card while talking about your offensive side though. Like I get it, the Eagles haven't either, but that the Eagles don't have a Jimmy G waiting on the sideline. You know.
They don't have Gardner Minshew. If he was in this game, something astronomically terrible would have had to happen to Jalen Hurts. For Brock Purdy, yeah, he could just get hurt, but Brock Purdy could play bad enough to where he gets benched.
You know what? Andy B might have to come down for Most Sports TV on Tuesday. This is what it's looking like right now.
But if Ed, you're 100%. If Jimmy G gets in this game, you're getting a text, bro. You're like, I mean, not if Brock Purdy gets hurt, because that's different. But I think there's a scenario in which Brock Purdy could be that bad.
I don't think. Wait, but in this, you're talking about this game. I don't think Jimmy G's ready for this game.
I thought they said he was.
No, I think he's
so ready at the
practicing.
Super Bowl.
He's ready to practicing. He's already practicing ahead of schedule. He could be anticipating.
It depends on how Brock Purdy plays.
If needed, there could be risks. They said, but he could play a backup role.
Is he completely out? We know that for a fact. I mean, the game's
for today. I would assume so. And
I assume you. Well, if you're saying I had heard that he was practicing, that made me assume he's in. Either way, I don't think Brock Purdy is bulletproof in terms of this year. I still think even if they make the Super Bowl, maybe obviously a different story, but could always be because Jimmy G's played.
And I was talking about the Super Bowl. If you go to the Super Bowl, do you run a fake?
Either way,
I think that would be cool.
Same thing.
I think that would be cool.
I maintain that completely. That if he is playing terribly in a Super Bowl game, which I don't think they'll be in, I still think we've seen it before. Like, it happens more in college, but we've seen it before where you're not 100% confident in the guy. Brock Purdy's playing thanks to the standard that he got, that Jimmy G was hurt. There's no way there. Look, I like Brock Purdy from Iowa State. I remember him. Nobody in Niner country is 1,000% sold on him, and if they are, they're sniffing.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it. I love the way he's played. But last week kind of gave it to you. He had 110. He had 130 yards maybe on Dallas. Dallas is not that good of a team.
Okay. Andy B.
Look, man, we don't beat. Look,
standing with Jimmy G.
We will talk about the Packers plenty in the offseason. We don't need to talk about it because there's a new report about the Packers every damn day, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, let's shift over. Let's shift gears.
Yeah, there's another game I've heard.
Bengals in Arrowhead, taking on the Chiefs.
Real quick. Okay. That mayor, terrible guy. Lame, corny, in all types of ways.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you saw me on Most Sports TV wearing the Bengals jersey. I've been on the Bengals the whole week, but man, is it just not looking good from a Juju standpoint? Not even saying Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, this is some bad Juju that was put on the team by your own mayor. What are we doing? What are we doing?
You'd think
why? Paternity test thing? Come on. Do it after the game. Win the game first. Come on.
It was lame. It was lame in all types of ways. When you look back on this season, and if they lose today, we're going to look back on that, and that mayor might actually get voted out next time because of how bad. Like, that's
yeah.
Look, I'm not, my girlfriend's more into this. I'm not into more of like the Juju and the what would you say, like
karma type of deal?
Karma, so superstitions. I'm not into that stuff usually. I have my like quirks, but like in terms of this, I think putting that out gives the Chiefs more fire. Like, that's not like a karma thing. You've now pissed off a team you don't want to piss off. Like, that's like pissing off Alabama or Kentucky when you're about to play them in their respective sports, football and basketball. Like, you don't give teams extra motivation.
Yep.
Especially when you have not, like, the mayor of Cincinnati ain't lining up today.
Patty Mahomes was motivated too, being an underdog for even just 3 days. You know, he was going to come out with a fire. Juju may be gone after this year. Yeah, he might.
100%.
I mean, you criticize your own quarterback like that. Like, that's disgusting. He should be. And I think it is a one-year deal, kind of proven situation. And he didn't prove shit. So, I don't know. If he wants to be Isaiah Hodgins' backup, you know, he could take about $3.5 million.
My brother and I were just having an argument about the Giants receivers. I'll tell you about it after. But
okay.
We were just screaming about it.
All right. So, you have a pick you like in this game? Because I've been trying to find one, and I don't know. I don't know yet.
Get into my FanDuel. It went off for some reason. I believe that one of mine was Pat Mahomes over on yards. I want to get the exact number, but we all have to assume they're going to hit over.
Coming for Eli Apple? Is that?
I certainly would. I mean, look, Eli Apple, I loved what he did the other day. I thought it was hilarious, and I didn't think he was disrespectful at all. But I did think, look, you're not that guy.
Okay.
I'm not that guy. I know I wouldn't talk shit. I'm not that guy in anything. I can't talk shit to anybody about anything. Right? That's maybe trivia. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy who'd talk shit. Maybe somebody should have told him, like, dude, leave that to somebody who's done that. Jalen Ramsey, he earned it. He could talk that shit, but how do you lie?
Now, I got one for you that this is a little juiced. I'm not going to lie to you. This is not a long shot because it's not too long, but I was looking, obviously, passing touchdowns. We think Patty Mahomes is going to have a day.
Yeah.
His is at 1.5 for
no
minus
value to that.
175 or 4. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Same thing
but
with Burrow.
Over 3.5 passing touchdowns. So 4 passing touchdowns for Patty Mahomes. Plus 460. Value-wise?
It's actually value-wise to actual realistic of it happening. It's not terrible because
the under is minus 750. So nobody's betting Patty Mahomes under. And if you are, like, I don't know, you're sus. You're definitely sus. Double R, I did enjoy my birthday. I was unfortunately working. I'm getting in with some good buddies over at my school, me and Andy, where we actually had first met, the Connecticut School Broadcasting. Getting in with some buddies over there, talking, trying to get, you know, a little step up in the broadcasting world. You know, so it was a good birthday, productive, and yeah, I appreciate you asking. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Dak got robbed of the MVP.
Football is.
I'm so bored. This is earnest. This has to be earnest.
Is it?
There's no doubt in my mind that
I don't know.
All I'm waiting for is the Niners by 24, and then that confirms it right there. That would do it. That would do it. But okay, back to the Patty Mahomes prop. Plus 460. Over 3.5 touchdowns. I don't know. I can see it. At the same time, I know, you know, it's somewhat of a long shot. So value-wise, worth a potential sprinkle.
Oh,
okay.
Get those deleted.
All right. You're going to have to go in timeout before you finish that word. I'm sorry.
Oh, he did finish
it. But
he didn't.
Come on.
Yeah, that's bad. Pat Mahomes.
Patty Mahomes. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's going to have a day, but
I do too.
I know you saw the video of him walking down from that pedestal type of deal.
Yeah.
he looked a little stiff. I can't lie to you. He
You're
did
gonna
that
be,
little
and it's gonna be cold
gingerly-
too.
You know when you walk down the stairs and you're a little stiff after workout and you hit the little like shoulder shimmy after every time you drop down a step? That was like a little like one of those. I don't know. It definitely didn't look like, we know we weren't getting 100% Patty Mahomes, but I don't know. It didn't look too encouraging.
Yeah.
Did not look too
I think the
encouraging.
cold weather
there.
will hurt too. I think that.
Oh, what's happening in Flanders? I didn't realize that was your comment. I was looking for it. But yeah, no, I said this on Most Sports TV. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Andy, but I would take a 15-yard penalty, roughing the passer type of deal to get Patty Mahomes out the game. Absolutely. Any day of the week, I'm sending, 3 guys, just go for that.
I agree completely. I said the same thing. I said Jacksonville should have did it.
Yeah.
You can't, when you're talking about a championship, look, I hope he's okay, but it's his ankle.
Yep.
I'm going after his ankle. If it's his head, no, you don't go after like a serious part of his body.
I'm just thinking about Tua. I'm just thinking about if Tua was in this situation, you just get dudes like Troy Polamalu jumping over the line and just
sure we'll talk
literally
about him.
Superman punching him to the noggin.
Yeah.
do you take that penalty? I don't know.
I'm sure we'll talk about him a little more in the offseason.
Nothing dirty? I don't know. I get it. I get the nothing dirty
You don't have
standpoint.
to do something dirty to get his ankle hurting.
That is a fact.
Just trip him up.
That is a fact.
Like,
Gator roll with the ankle. Who was the player that did that this season? Remember? They tackled somebody and then he was holding, I want to say it was AJ Brown's ankle.
I think it was.
I think Double R might remember this if I'm right about it. He grabbed like AJ Brown's ankle and like tried rolling over with it.
Mm-hmm.
That was ridiculous. Football is supposed to be dirty. That's like 80% of the fun. Yeah, I mean,
sure.
I'm not talking no Chase Utley, slide into second base and you absolutely take the guy out. I mean, sorry.
No,
Andy.
you're right. You're right. I said this
out
during the Jacksonville game to my dad. I said, as bad as it sounds, that's a situation where like you have to go after it. Right? Like you have to like consider
what am I going to let you just kill us? Like we're talking Patrick Mahomes the second. Yeah. This is a guy that's
I hope they don't do it like dirty. I'm just saying in this flow of the game, an ankle's not difficult to hurt. It's really not. It got hurt in the first place. It can get hurt again.
And it got hurt in a very, a fashion that we see guys.
It wasn't a dirty fashion of play. Like,
yep.
Maybe we sound dirty, but I think it's completely fair.
I think it's very possible. Now, one thing that I was looking at, what do you think about maybe an over prop for the first half in this game? Because I think this is going to be, right now, it's sitting at 23.5. I think this is going to get out to like fireworks off rip. I think this is going to be back and forth.
I think
if you're going to take a roughing pass, exactly. If we're going to get a flag, I'm
put in your worst player, see if he can get to the quarterback, do it after the flag.
Exactly. Like if I'm going to take 15 yards, you best believe like I'm sending him up to the booth.
You better get your money's worth.
Brother, they can make some TikToks in the blue tent, them and Juju. Bengals have their number. They don't need to go after the ankle. First half under. Okay. I don't know. Am I like, is that a casual take or like a public standpoint type of take that I think this is going to be a shootout?
I think it is too, but that's like two equals make a board like a low scoring. I don't know. The offenses are just so good and the defenses have their flaws.
Yeah, exactly.
For both games, both teams, I could see the Eagles scoring a lot, not necessarily the Niners, but for this game in particular, like the offenses just overpower the defenses so much that I just think they're gonna hit the over. I get what I means. Maybe he thinks it's gonna be a feeling out thing where the first half under hits, but like, do these teams really need to feel each other out? They've played so often in terms of last year they played in the regular season, like they know each other.
Yep.
They've played 3 times in the past 2 seasons, and they're gonna play this as the 4th. So there really is no feeling out here.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And I have one more prop for you that I'm interested in. And that is a T. Higgins over on his yardage today. I think that this is going to be a kind of take Jamar Chase out or try, because it's not going to happen. Try and take him out and let everybody else beat you. And T. Higgins is obviously a wide receiver 1 on most teams in the NFL.
Be ready. You're going to see a lot of Giants.
You're going to see some jersey swaps real soon. I'm sorry, it's going to happen. He's going to be a primary target realistically.
100. He's going to be the number 1.
Yep.
I believe whoever doesn't get D-Hop will go after T. Higgins, and it might be vice versa depending on how the GMs feel.
Bring me both, and let's ride. No, but T. Higgins over 58.5 receiving yards today.
You just said he's a number one.
What? What do you mean?
You just said T. Higgins is a number one, and then you were like, give me D-Hop too, so make him a number two.
I mean, why not both? Well,
I know what you mean.
But the thing is, like, D-Hop is a little bit older, so like,
you're right. I would prefer,
actually,
this might be called, I'd prefer T. Higgins on my team.
Oh, I would agree. Yeah. I would agree. The guy with less injury history, and no, I don't think that's too hot of a take.
Should be, but
Bengals have worked so hard to shed the Vontaze perfect image. Yeah, no, I get that. Okay.
Yeah, and what has that done for him?
But I don't know.
They want a title? I don't think so.
Okay, it's a fair standpoint. But T. Higgins over 58.5. I think he's gonna have his day today. I think he's gonna be a primary target of Joey B. And honestly, I think the quiet guy on this offense today is gonna be Mixon. I think the defensive line. You have his over really on rushing yards.
He looked good last week, and I think he's just on fire right now. That's one of the. But you could be right too. If you think he's gonna be the quiet guy, I understand.
Now, I think he could hit his over while still having a somewhat quiet
he's
day.
58. He could have 70 yards and do nothing.
And that's it. You know, that's, I mean, or even 60 yards, 65 yards, like, you know, something
there. 63, 64, so I feel safe that he doesn't have like a 3-yard loss.
You know, he gets sacked behind the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden your bet's toast. Mixon is a dog, don't get me wrong, but he's been playing so well that they have to kind of key in on him. And Chris Jones is going to be doing his best to get through that line. Now, I do have a question for you. Are you concerned at all with the injury problems of, you know, your team? You know, especially up front, being that you're missing 3 offensive linemen, right? Is it 3?
I didn't realize that said it's going well, actually. Look, the bad boy Pistons, everybody hated them. They won a title.
They did win a title. I mean, it is actually going well when you think about it.
Yeah, they're going to these places. But, like, you were going to the playoffs often under Marvin Lewis. You're just winning playoff games.
Yep.
Let's get a title. And you know how you get a title? You go after the ankle today.
You just want to see the fall off of Patty Mahomes.
I'm hoping he doesn't get hurt, but
no,
I believe the Chiefs are going to win. But
you're taking the Chiefs? All right. I think my heart is siding Bengals, but with everything that's happened this week,
my brain's saying they have to eventually beat them, right? Like, it's Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, who I think could retire at the end of the year. I've heard that that's a rumor.
Andy Reid is definitely, you know, not the type to be
I believe now.
Getting his veggies in, that's for sure. I like Pacheco. If you're going the angle of Pacheco, I would go rushing and receiving. Just because then you could get a little more value on that. So I definitely like Pacheco today.
We always bring it up.
Yep, he might be a little more locked in on just because he got used. You know what I mean? His card's been flashed. So I don't know. Anything else you want to tap in on today?
No, I think it's going to be a lot of points scored today. Probably gonna if we'll be on tomorrow. So I'm
no
sure
injuries.
We'll talk about all that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be back tomorrow. We'll talk some NBA because we've been hot in the NBA. We'll talk some.
We had a good
Betalytics.
day yesterday.
You know what? Maybe tomorrow, we'll talk Betalytics. We'll run people through if they're going to sign up. You know, using the code MoSports. We'll run them through just how to look at it because it's super simple, and it's helped us actually. Andy B went 2-0 last night. You know,
I hit
no joke. I went 2-0 the night before. You know, we're coming at you with these hot picks, and they're great. They're graded actually on a through F scale of the value, the matchup, you know, the statistics. So Andy did like the net. I kind of you know, I
had Vandy yesterday too. Vandy lost by 6, but we had him plus 9.5. I mean, stuff like that. I've been getting the college game. I've been trying to incorporate the college game in this show.
Yeah,
that's something.
I mean, we're going to be getting definitely more into.
Come March, that's what's going to be this show, right? We're going to be a pre-baseball. In between, we'll have some NBA too. It's going to be a lot of basketball on this show in March, and I'm excited for it. I'm getting everybody ready.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to be seeing Vanderbilt in March. I can tell you that.
No, we won't be seeing Vandy, but we will be seeing a lot of, you know, a lot
I
of
will
guys
start incorporating the bigger teams. That's just really tough.
Exactly. A lot of prospects. We'll talk NBA prospects. We'll talk draft. We're going to obviously
Georgia actually played an NBA prospect yesterday. One of the worst ball handlers I've ever seen. That's projected to be a top 10 pick in the NBA. One of the worst ball handlers I've ever seen.
Interesting.
So we'll talk about him.
Interesting. We will definitely talk
Oh,
about it,
shoot,
and
yeah,
your
yeah.
Georgia dogs, because they've been rolling, even though they got
We got a
spanked.
dub yesterday.
You know, they've been rolling outside. You take away that one outlier game where you guys got absolutely schlacked.
Yeah, Tennessee.
It's been solid so far, you know.
Yeah,
So,
we've been competing in games. Look, I think we'll be talking about them a little bit early in March. I think maybe we'll get them in March, mid-March, but we'll see what we get. We'll definitely be talking about the SEC though, because it's Kentucky's and Tennessee's. Those teams can win national titles. So.
and I think Kansas is still the favorite again going into this year as well. They've just been they're a powerhouse now.
Yeah, they won
they're
yesterday in Rupp Arena. That's tough to do. So yeah, there's some Alabama, a team that I said on this show, Alabama's best team in the nation. They lost by 24 to Oklahoma.
Andy Auerbach. That's a great one. That is a great one.
Yeah.
But all right, guys,
Hell
have
yeah.
yourselves today, as Flanders said, and let's watch some good games and let's
it.
go Bengals, because I'm still gonna root for them. But
I'm rooting
No,
for
man.
the team that I'm rooting for the most today, and it's gonna sound I'm rooting for the Eagles the most today.
All right, we're gonna end the episode there. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Oh yeah,
We'll catch
fly
you tomorrow
Eagles,
night.
fly.
All right, no, get out of here. No. All right, guys, we'll catch you tomorrow. Moneyline Madness will be back for just a recap. We'll talk NBA bets and whatnot. And yeah, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Double R, I Main, Flanders, Elijah, all the above. Even if that was Ernest dropped some comments, that was crazy.
It was a
Even
huge.
Ed, we appreciate you too. So take care, guys, and we will catch you tomorrow. Peace.